It's called Helvellyn Triathlon. It's not your standard triathlon. It's a real challenge event.
And a very warm welcome to the Helvellyn Triathlon 2021. My name's Chris, guiding you through till 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Triathlons generally are pretty tough things, but this is a tough one. But it's entirely different. Such a beautiful setting. It's based in Glenridding, which is Lake District. Perfect location, absolutely beautiful. One of the best spots in the country. The swim's in Ullswater, 1,500 metres, and then straight from that, collect your bike from the transition area and set off on the 39 miles bike route. The big challenge on the bike is the climb from Ambleside to the top of the Kirkstone Pass. And it's a good steep climb. The very last bit of it is what's known as the struggle.
Cyclist versus dry stone walls, there's only one winner, and it usually results in broken bones. So be incredibly careful as you're coming down the Kirkstone Pass.
Back into Glenridding before we start the run. 99% of it probably is then all off-road, and it's basically a fell run.
How do I get in there? Yeah, good, thank you. Do you want goggles as well, or just
Yes,
wetsuit?
please.
I don't know which ones I'm wearing yet, so
Okay, as long
you
as
can look at them all.
as long as they're
They're
all
all
pretty
dry.
Yeah.
They all leak. Hello, 527, please. I have a bit of a passion for what I call invisible women, in that I used to race mountain bikes when I was in my 20s, and there were always all these mums shouting for their children or their husbands to come on, and then I'd come past and they'd go, "Oh, go on love, you're doing really, really well, come on, come on." And I used to say, "Well, you get on your bike and come with me." Could never understand why other women didn't do this. And it's not just sport, it's everything, where women feel that they can't do things and they let their children do things, or they let their husbands do things. And as a teacher, I don't know where this cut-off happens, but it happens, and the girls suddenly stop having a laugh as much as the lads. It just seems that the fun aspect of life and taking part in fantastic outdoor activities, they're just not doing. But I know one of the best things for me is to get outside and do things that make you feel alive. I could never do that, is what I've heard so many times. Why the hell not? Hopefully I'll prove this to you, that you can be a size 16 and eat a lot of chocolate and drink rum and not train religiously in a regime, but you can find it in yourself to go and have some fun.
10 metres rafting rule on this one, so you cannot take pace off another rider at all. If you're overtaken, the overtaken rider must drop back the 10 metres.
Have your race licence ready to show them there?
Okay, thank you.
Do you know what number you are?
452. I joined the British Army when I was 19 years old. My first tour was in 2003. You know, it was quite a high operational tempo.
Enjoy your race.
Thanks a lot. Is that
Take
everything yet?
That's it.
Great.
Thank you.
Cheers.
See you in the morning.
Bye. I've always given 110% and find it difficult to switch off. I always say, and you can't always be motivated, but you can be disciplined. I try and have a structured training plan. So usually Mondays and Tuesdays might be a double session, a bike followed by a swim. Wednesday I take my son to the gym. I'd probably say, 6 days a week, You know, maybe, you know, an hour and a half to 2 hours possibly.
I haven't got a training regime because I'm definitely not a regimented person.
A lot of people.
So I've been doing a fair bit of biking, but not to any plan. The running element is going to be my most challenging because I'm not a runner. I sort of amble.
It's a bit of bad design, isn't it? It won't go down to the bottom.
Yeah, I'm relying on a certain level of mental ability and general physicality to get me around this, and I may be deluded.
We just provide something that's a challenge for anybody. So there are people that see it as a competitive event and they want to do it as well as they can and do it as fast as they can.
There we are, good to go.
But the majority of the field, we just want to get round the course, enjoy the day and have memories. If you challenge yourself to do something and then you achieve it, that's what the event's about.
Right, enjoy the day, have a good day, have a safe day. 3, 2, 1, go!
I used to dread going swimming at primary school. Absolutely detested it.
Okay, Evie, so Dad can't always get to the pool.
Okay.
So what he's done is he's bought an indoor swim trainer.
Okay.
I could swim, never used to sink like a brick or anything, but I wasn't efficient. And so I started to go swimming after the gym and it was awful. It was a horrendous experience. Do 2 lengths and you just be like hanging on.
Can you see those, Evie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
look fancy.
Got some paddles, haven't we?
Yeah, never seen anything like that before.
Daddy's getting too old for this. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it works, yeah? Am I making enough of a splash?
Yeah, you're making very big splashes that it's coming onto me.
I got to the point where I could swim 20 lengths without stopping, and yeah, I just went for it.
3, 2, 1, go!
I'm not much of a swimmer, but I love water. It's just a nice thing to do, is to get in there and immerse yourself. Oh, it's minging. I'm in the water and I'm thinking, I feel great, I feel really good. This is where I need to be. Helvellyn has a significance for me for lots of reasons. I took the children up there when they were little. Son Rosie, my daughter, my husband Sean, they'll be going on the day. Sean is really, really, really good at supporting because he is an athlete and he's a running coach, and it should be really, really good.
Once your hands start to get cold, you know that your body temperature is going to continue going down when you get out, and you can get quite chilly. But if you're quite chubby, it's really beneficial.
Second lap, Katey, one.
I love the stories that come through, and they always come through of people that do the race for a reason. Maybe they've had some sort of trauma incident in their life and they need to challenge themselves, or maybe they're doing it on behalf of somebody that's been dear to them.
Look like having wet feet.
I really enjoy hearing those stories.
I'd always wanted to join the army, you know, ever since I was a child, watching films like The Wild Geese and Delta Force, and when I was coming close to finishing college, Sierra Leone happened and the parachute regiment were all over the papers and everything, and I thought, you know what, that's what I want to do, that's where I want to be. And I really enjoyed my time there, you know, I loved it. But then in 2016, I was medically discharged from noise-induced hearing loss. Yeah, my hearing was no longer compatible really with service life. You know, maybe I could have contested it, but I knew it'd have an impact on my career. I'd be limited in what I could do, you know, in terms of operational deployment. And things have been rough for the family, you know, it's a hard life for, you know, the spouses, and it's a hard life for the kids. And so I thought, you know, at this point, maybe, you know, this is the time to get out and maybe try and focus on you know, being a better dad, husband, and, you know, all that kind of thing. Yeah, when you start really living together for a long period, that's when cracks can really start to open up. And it did for us,
So where are we up to at the moment? Well, I can tell you that we're expecting the first cyclist back into transition around 10:30. From then it doesn't get easy because they've got a 9-mile fell run to conclude.
And so in 2018, you know, that marriage ended.
Andrew Mitchell is about to start the run. Good luck, Rowan.
I think I always had an issue with alcohol. Over the 2 years when I'd been out in the parachute regiment, my alcohol consumption had increased considerably. And I'd always struggled with self-esteem, you know, ever since I was a kid. So I think when I was in the paras, you know, I'd always used alcohol to try and boost that confidence, boost that self-esteem, and to try and fit in, you know, and be part of the group. Kind of knew it was a problem, and it was always, you know, tomorrow I'll stop, tomorrow I'll stop, tomorrow I'll stop, but it never happened. I'd lost my identity as a soldier, and then I guess my identity then was a dad and a husband, and, you know, I don't have a lot left, and so at the time, you know, it was catastrophic for me. November 2018, I hit my all-time low, and I went into rehab and was treated for alcohol addiction.
Yeah, keep it going.
Once I took Charlie, my eldest son, camping. Just me and he went to Helvellyn, and we camped at the tarn. Charlie was born in 1992. He's the cutest baby on the planet. The best thing that ever happened to me. It was wonderful. He unfortunately died when he was 27. He had an accident at work. Charlie was a forester, and he absolutely loved his job. And unfortunately, one day, on my birthday, he felled a tree, but unfortunately the tree that was next to the one that he'd felled was compromised, and a huge branch fell and hit him on the head, and he survived 3 days in hospital. It was a catastrophic brain injury. Had he lived, he wouldn't have been the Charlie that we all knew and loved. He was running on rails. He was ready for the next stage in life, to settle down, to buy a house. He had it all in front of him, and that's the hardest thing, is to live knowing that that's not happening anymore. You grieve for the future.
Yeah. Yeah. Well done, brilliant.
My goodness.
Cramp.
I had that a minute ago and it went. You'll be all right.
When I was in rehab, it was tough, but I guess in a way as well, it was a familiar environment in that I was in a block with numerous other people, which was reminiscent of being in a bunk. In a military accommodation, there was a morning routine to follow, so room jobs, cleaning bathrooms and all this sort of stuff. It was a regime. But for me, it was something that my experience I could revert back to. It doesn't matter who you are, what your social status is, what your background is. So I was in there with a school teacher, a children's author, some really highly successful people, and I was in there, people had just come out of prison recently. But you know what? We were all on that equal footing. The people in there were really supportive of one another. But it was difficult.
I keep being told I'm going to get angry, and I'm not angry. I'm too sad to be angry. I can't be angry at the tree. I love trees. Charlie loved trees.
Okay, that was hard. Hard.
And that sadness has to be there forever, and that's the hard bit. When you've got that big sad, you have to put it somewhere. You have to put it somewhere and keep going.
I'll be honest, there were times when I was like thinking, you know what's the point? Let's just end it. That's the point you get to sometimes, but it's holding on to those things that make life worth living. One day, I decided, I'm just going to get up and I'm going to do 15 minutes of burpees. Even if I don't like it, I'm just going to do it, and that's what I did. I just started running up and down this smoking area. It was winter. Wind, hail, rain, snow, wherever it was. I was out there in my shorts and t-shirt. I started training twice a day, 7 days a week. It was the start of a brand new chapter.
Yeah, you can beat me up if you like.
Andrew, fantastic. What was that like for you today?
It was pretty horrendous, to be honest.
They say that doing triathlons are quite addictive, aren't they? Would you say that's the case?
Absolutely, it's an addiction in itself, but it's a healthy addiction. Well, I didn't feel like it at the top of Helvellyn. One of the reasons I do triathlon is, if my story inspires just one person, then that's a winner for me. I was at rock bottom. I really was. I was in the darkest place, I've probably ever been in my life. It was, far worse than anything, I've come across in Iraq or Afghanistan. But, if I can do it, anybody can do it. You just got to take it a day at a time, and the days when you don't feel motivated, that's when you've really got to go out and do it.
I'm okay. Just feeling like, oh dear, yeah, tired. I really ought to run this bit. Shall I run for a bit? Hey, look.
After Charlie's funeral and after his cremation, it's what do you do with someone's ashes? won't even go down that road to discuss how people make that decision, but something in me said, I know where to put him. It was just somewhere neutral, not at home, but somewhere majestic, somewhere massive and powerful, and somewhere that you can do a pilgrimage to. And it's hard work to get to, and you're up there and you're on a different plane when you're on the top of the mountain. We planned a trip and we took this amazing picnic with wine and cheese and olives and all the things that Charlie liked, and some whiskey, and we had a really beautiful picnic on the summit, and then we all shook and launched and watched him go into the air and the wind, and some of him landed on the grass and we picked him up and we touched him, and I think me and Hayley licked our finger. It was just, it sounds disgusting, but it wasn't. It was just, there he was and there he'd gone, and that was befitting.
We're going to the spot where we threw our Charlie's ashes. I can't not come up here and not go to the spot.
And we all went swimming in the tarn after that picnic, and it was freezing. We were all in our knickers and bras, freezing in the water, splashing around, and it was great because everybody's carrying on, not knowing why we're there, and just being normal and just having a lovely day out.
It was here. It's here.
So Helvellyn is, that's why it's special.
Quick! Massage your finger! Right, come here. Hi, Charlie! Oh, I miss you, Charlie, man. And Grandma. Yeah. I wonder if there's any of him left. He's residual check. Yeah. Right, let's go. Right, see you, pal. I feel better for that. I might not look it, but I feel better for that.
He was just a happy soul, happy boy, just an absolute shiny person. I was just really lucky to be his mum.
When you push yourself so hard, it makes you feel so alive.
Life for me is having to try and suck as much joy out of things that I do now as I can, because I've got to do it for Charlie as well. He's not lucky enough to be able to do these things, and I am. So I'm going to do them and be happy.
And there's a medal.
Ian Milligan
Congratulations, well done.
Thank you.
Awesome effort, awesome.
You'd have been proud.
Round of applause, Elliot. Fantastic. Thank you. Have a safe journey back. Well done.
I go very quiet when I'm really emotional, and that's what's happening. I'm just, yeah, it's just all in there. Yeah, I'm a lucky girl in lots of ways. Yeah, glass is still definitely half full.